Greetings and welcome back to Military Monday here in the Bacon Bunker. I'm your host, Big Bacon. Today we're going to be looking at the G.I. Joe Classified Flint. Flint was a mainline release, and I actually managed to find him at a Meijer store in Michigan. Nope, scratch that, reverse it. This was Kokomo, Indiana, I found him. I remember because he and Lady J were only one of each on the pegs, and I was so excited. I actually found one in the wild. That'll never happen again. And then for the next 9 months, all I ever saw were Flints and Lady J's. Memories. So, as always, we're going to look at the accessories. We're going to look at the figure. We're going to check his articulation, gear him up, and get him on the shelf. Now, Flint. You think Flint, you think two things. Shotguns and his beret. And in this case, he comes with a removable beret. Special Forces patch on the front of it. Done in a nice flat black. Nice matte color to it. He comes with the generic Nerf sidearm. That's right, the same sidearm that dates all the way back to the first Duke. Sculpt-wise, I mean, it's a generic pistol. No paint apps, no nothing. And then we've got his main piece. A shotgun sort of thing. Now it is cast in black. Got a nice paint detail here on what would normally be the slide. Because yes, it is a pump-action shotgun, or at least it was in Legend. The sculpt on it's looking good. Got some spare ammo here on the weapon itself. But then, it breaks down like a double barrel. Now, why that would... Yeah, you don't load a shotgun like that. Not a pump-action. Pump-actions load from beneath. There's also no ejection port over here on either side for spent casings. So, no idea what happens to them, but they take a magical ferry to Neverland. Now, moving on to the figure. I hear a lot of people complain that this is just a generic head sculpt. That doesn't look like Flint. That's a generic... Well, Hasbro had this old tradition of making characters look like people who worked in their office. That's right. Ron Rudat, that's Leatherneck. They all did it. There's a bunch of them. And you know what? I happen to know for a fact that this is nobody. This is a random generic face because guess what? That's what most of the military is. Random generic people. But I like it. Got a little bit of a scar here over his eye. The sculpt itself is not terrible. Paint is applied nicely. We've got this painted on military fade. I mean, how great is that? Now, instead of just his black shirt, he does have a little bit of body armor as part of his load-bearing equipment. Plates in the back, plate in the front. He's got his traditional suspenders with all these shells. Good paint detail on them. Pouches along the front and side. Up here on the suspenders, he's got a Joe Pro. Then he's got this big funky looking thing in the back, and we'll get back to that in a minute. The shirt itself is the Duke shirt. Exact same sculpt. Difference? Painted black. And here along the sleeve, you can see where the actual forearm starts. Yeah, a little bit of paint mishap there. Reuse of the Duke hands. So, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. And both him and Duke were airborne, apparently. And it is sculpted and painted in there, his jump wings. He's got a double layer belt pouch on the front. Additional shells that are not the same size as these and unpainted. Both buckles are painted in different colors. No idea what the hell those are supposed to be. Some sort of funky grenade? Who knows? Pants are reuse of, you guessed it, Duke. Holster, Duke. There's a lot of reuse in this line, but you know what? You throw new accessories on it, you change the color, and it's harder to tell. I know it because I've been collecting these a while. Then he's got these boots. I'm going to leave it up to you to guess where they came from. They are nice looking boots, though. I'd wear a pair of these. Honey, if you're listening, I'd wear a pair of boots that look like this. I'll say it again slower. I would wear a pair of boots that look like this. So let's check his articulation. He's got a ball joint at the bottom of the neck, a ball joint on top of a hinge at the top of the neck, so looking up, he looks up that far. Looking down, I said looking down. Okay, hingy. There we go. Looking down, he buries that chin. He looks straight down. Okay, we've got rotation. We've got tilt, mostly due to the neck. Arm wheel hinge, up to 90. Got some good detents in there. Does have a butterfly joint. Arm will rotate all the way around. Bicep cut for rotation. Double jointed elbow. Not pinless, but it does have a good range to it. Hands rotate, and because it's Duke's hands, everybody on the team is apparently a lefty. Got a vertical trigger finger on the left, horizontal on the right. Hasbro, you're killing me. He's got a waist ball, which allows for a little bit of front and back action, small amount of tilt, and rotation. He has a ab crunch, which is buried deep under this very thick, very heavy vest. So you are not able to actually utilize that function. Drop down hip. It's hard to see because of those hang downs. So we'll do this leg. Drop down hip. Creates a gap. Allows the leg to kick out that far. Now, excuse me, I'm going to work that a little bit. Allows the leg to kick forward that far. And by working it, I've lessened the chances of a stress mark. Thigh cup for rotation. Double jointed, heavily pinned knees. Allows him to kick his own ass. Uncle Robo would be proud. He's got a boot cut hidden under the front armor plate. Foot hinges back that far. Forward. Decent amount. And front facing. For front facing pin for rocker. So, we're going to go ahead and get this pistol into the holster. We're going to pop the beret on his head. Why? Because that's where a beret goes. And see, once you throw the beret on there, he looks a lot more like Flint. Now, you've got a couple of options here. One. Well, let's point out this thing I said we'd get back to. So this big thing here is angled downward on this side with a larger cut over here, or large dip down. And if you actually take the shotgun and slide it in this way, yeah, it appears to be caught up. It's supposed to go in further than that. There we go. It will actually slide all the way up and into there. Now I've seen other people who insist that it has to go this way, and it will fit in there that way up to the trigger well. But then you got all this extra space there on this end. So some people do it right, some people are stupid. But I don't judge. I love everyone. So how do I want to do this? Now, my big issue with this figure, these hands are really fucking stiff. Like, I will actually say a curse word on YouTube just to get the point across. Stiff. You know what, that might actually work better if I... Well, that doesn't have much on the way of the front face there. You know what? Come on, trigger finger. Get up there. Yep, there we go. Okay, we will adjust the feet. And there we have him. So do you say we get him up on the shelf? And there you are.